Okay, so I am driving up to Kentucky from where I live south of Nashville to make more financial mistakes, probably.
Left 2 lanes to take exit 88.
So I've been had my bicep repaired, and I've had some time. Now that time has had me on the interwebs. You know, cruising Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, all that. And I saw a 4-wheel drive wrecker, 89 F450 4x4, with a boom and a wheel lift. So I'm gonna go check it out.
A mile, take exit 43 for Burley Parkway.
The price seemed good, so I don't know. Thought I'd bring you guys along. I'm not going to be able to bring it back today. I'm in my car. I don't have access right now to a trailer I can throw a dually
43, on. Then keep left.
But anyway, I don't have space for this thing. I really shouldn't buy it. But I saw it a couple days ago, gave it a couple days to get sold, and it hasn't. So probably best case scenario for my finances and my relationship with my wife is that this thing is a piece of garbage and not worth me bringing home, but we'll see. All right, I guess we'll take a look at it when we get there. Okay, and here it is. 1989 F Super Duty wrecker. Now it does have Dana 60 front, Sterling 10 1/4 rear, lockers in both. It is 1-ton running gear. They are 8 lug axles. Let's see here. The interior is what you would expect. It's beat up, but you know, it's all there. Does have some weight reduction. You know, we don't need that bit there anyway. Got everything for the wheel lift, hitch. This is like a homemade spade the guy made to like dig in when you're winching. Dual 8,000-pound winches on the boom. Controls on both sides. It's got some old mud tires on it. It's got the ZF5 5-speed transmission. I'm not familiar with the transfer case on these. Whatever comes from the factory, that would have come with a an '89 Ford F350, because that's where all the drivetrain was pulled out of. 460 EFI. You know, guy put injectors, new plugs and wires, lots of new gas tank, lots of new stuff on this hot rod. No AC, unfortunately. But yeah, here it is. The thing has 0 brakes, so that's what I'm gonna try to figure out right now is what the deal is with that. I mean, seeing how rusty the truck is, I'm sure I'm gonna have to make lines. There's sweet lights up there. All that stuff works. The only issue, he redid the cylinders on the wheel lift. The cylinder that raises and lowers the boom, but the cylinder inside of the boom itself that extends it out leaks. And that's something that I can't do at home, because you have to extend it all the way out, drive out a pin and all that, and I'm just not equipped for that. But yeah. Reservoir is filled. I'm gonna go pump it inside and see if I can figure out where all of our fluid is going. All right, give me a couple pumps. Oh, yep, one more. Ha, yep, that's it. All righty, thank you. See if the camera cooperates. All right, so here's our offending brake line. It's on the other side, on the back side of that bracket, which with this thing being so rusty, everything in here is looking real mean. This line, it's a stainless steel line, braided line, so I guess it was replaced at some point. But where it runs from, oh my goodness, I can't see if you can see, but there's a T-junction here that comes off the master, I assume, and then runs down. I don't know if this one has a lot of the, the Ford trucks that's vintage have like a little rear ABS deal. I don't know if this has that. It's raining. I really don't feel like crawling around the ground trying to figure that out. But I do know that I need to replace that line. I don't know if that's that line or not. Anyway, I got to figure that out. But I do know that I need to replace that line. So I guess, what can you guys see? Nothing? Perfect. Do know that I need to replace that line on the back of that bracket. So I'm going to get to working on that. Alrighty, I went ahead and just took the braided part of the brake line off. Man, this camera. So that's where our brake was. I had to take the braided part off because I could not get this fitting out of this. It's just too rough. I'm see if you can see it. I'm down one arm right now, so I couldn't do it one-handed. So I'm gonna chuck this up in the vise, and then hopefully I can maybe put a little bit of heat on it and just get a socket on that so I can get that off. Alright. Hey, that was easy. Now the hardest part when you do something like this, is wanting to reach down there and take it out the rest of the way. Sweet. All right. Got some line. I've got to, this was a section that was already flared on one end. Flaring, super easy to do. I'll turn my camera here. You just follow the instructions on the box. But basically, we're gonna leave as much sticking up as there is on the thickness of the first adapter. We're going to jam that in to start for the first part of our flare, and then the next part of the flare, for the double flare, we're going to remove that and then jam our tool back in. So I don't think I can do it with only one hand, but I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, as per usual, I forgot to record, but I got our line back up there. I got it on the T-fitting. Kind of had to wiggle it around. The clip that's going to hold this was rusted and pretty much gone, so I just got it kind of shoved in there. I had to zip tie it. I ordered some, but they won't be here for a couple days. I just got to get this line put back on the caliper, and then I'll work. I probably should zip tie that back as well. Then I'll work on starting to bleed it. Hopefully, I can do something to get my power bleeder on that master cylinder. Alrighty, sorry I didn't video. Can't remember. I think we got the brake line in. When I was bleeding the brakes, I found another rusted spot in the rear. So I had to rerun a brake line there. I've bled the brakes using a power bleeder. The only thing that doesn't work, the brakes work fine. The line lock for the rear does not work, but I see that the valve itself has a bleeder on it, so I gotta look up how I'm supposed to bleed that. The truck runs good. It does not downshift. It grinds if you try to use the clutch downshifting. So you have to bring the RPM up and then let it fall into gear, kind of like you're driving a big rig or something. But anyway, so I apologize I didn't finish up the other night. I was trying to beat the rain, so I didn't video anything. I'm gonna look at that valve, you know, kind of figure out the theory and operation tomorrow, and then I'll see if I can't figure that out. All right, not sure where I left off. Running. I got the brakes done. The couple of sections of line I need to do, got them bled. I started messing with this. See, my camera will go down. This is the line lock for the rear axle. I didn't know how it worked actually. So how it works is, what I thought you did is you press down the pedal, then you lock it, but you don't. You lock it, and then you press down the pedal, and it holds that pressure like a check valve. But it's super difficult to get going, so I've just been working it back and forth, especially because I'm grabbing it with my left arm that isn't worth a whole lot right now. So I shot some juice in there, kind of giving the old, you know, the old how you doing, and then working it back and forth. It's a lot better, but it's not perfect, and I don't know if it is the actual handle, like the mechanism up here, or if it is whatever valves are moving underneath, because the brake system was completely dry when I got this, so I don't know if some of those seals have hardened up. I don't know if that'll get better, but it's a lot better than it was. If you can hear it, I'm sure you can. It needs some manifold gaskets. But yeah, brakes right now. The biggest issue is the ZF5. It upshifts fine, but it grinds bad going third to second, and I know that's a thing that they're known for, and it grinds going into first as well. So I'm gonna do the right thing and throw $90 worth of fluid in it and just hope that that helps it. I've run this stuff before for like transmissions that take, because this the ZF5 in that truck takes ATF, and I've had good luck with this stuff, like in the Mazda 5 speeds and the smaller Ford trucks, when they start grinding, throwing this Mazda stuff in there, or throwing this transmission fluid in there, helps with the grinding a lot. That's been my experience. I'm not sure if that's going to be how it works on this one. Let me shut this thing off also. Let me grab a light. So another thing that happens on the OBS 4 trucks, when in regards to clutch release, like you feel like you can't push the pedal down to get enough release, is there's a rod that runs through, you know, the clutch brake assembly, that goes over the steering column. The bushings on that rod wear out, and it just makes it where it weeble wobbles, and that you just can't press the clutch enough to get it to release. This one feels fine. I mean, generally, you know what's bad is when you're pressing the clutch and you feel the brake pedal move too, or, you know, you're pressing in the clutch and you hear like all the creaking underneath the firewall or against the firewall. I know I haven't had it in any of my trucks, but I've read where the bolts that hold the pedal assembly to the firewall will actually, like, or where it goes through, the firewall will actually break and allow it to flex a whole bunch where you can't actually release the clutch. Again, I don't think that's the case on this one, because I can move this clutch pedal and it doesn't move the brake pedal. So I don't know if this transmission's hooped, but I'm not sure what order I'm shooting these things in. I'm about to swap drain and filter transmission fluid. It hesitates, you know, past about a quarter throttle under load. I don't have a fuel pressure gauge here at the moment to test that. So for right now, I'm going to check the wiring on it, make sure, because it has a pump in the tank and then a high pressure pump on the fuel rail. I'm going to dump some Berrymans in the tank just to kind of, and some fresh gas just to help the situation along. I'm going to test the wiring on those fuel pumps too. All right, I'm under the truck. I got a 17 millimeter on the drain plug. Mine has a PTO on it, so it may look a little different than yours. This thing shouldn't have a ton in it. Should be like, you know, less than 4 quarts. So, well, she's in there. what you can see. Trying to do this one-handed here. There she goes. See how big of a mess we make here. See if we can get it down to my armpit actually. You know, that's got a lot of glitter in it. It's also, gosh, that's a lot. I can't turn the camera because my hand's all. There's a lot. Oh, come on, camera. There's a lot of glitter in that. Also, this is really thick. This is supposed to have ATF in it. Huh. Well, we'll put the new fluid in there, but this thing may need to be rebuilt, unfortunately. I'm sure what I'm looking at is the bronze from like the synchros, with not being able to downshift, or you know, having particular difficulties between certain gears. That all makes sense. So, I mean, I don't know if you could see it, how it's going to come on the camera, but it is super sparkly. So, we'll see. We'll hope for the best. All right, folks. What you're seeing here is frustration. It took forever to get the plug out, and I ended up having to use my like 2-foot-long ratchet. And then when I did, I've got one of these, and it's used to have an adapter to go to a quart bottle. It's all missing. So I've got, let's see if you can see it down there with the yellow by the tub. One of the ones, you know, you put on the quart bottle and it sneaks in. And that just popped off and dumped fluid everywhere. So what I'm going with now is I took the cover off of the transfer case, the shifter boot, and now I'm just dumping it into there. And I think that's the easiest way. All right, it's a new day. I'm not sure where I left off on this truck, but I drained the old fluid out of the ZF5 manual transmission, filled it back up with royal purple Synchromax. It had the wrong fluid in it. The fluid that came out was super sparkly. Had a thick gear oil in it. It's supposed to have ATF in it. Yeah, I mean it's drivable now. It's not good, but it's drivable. Before you could not downshift at all. Without grinding terribly, or you know, you could float the gears by kind of blipping the throttle, you know, while holding down, and it would, you know, fall into gear. But it you can use the clutch like normal now. It just doesn't grind, but it's not exactly smooth. But I think that's a win. That lets us drive us around and figure out, you know, what else we need to do this rig. I think this is where I'm gonna cut it off of this first video. I got 1,000 other things I got to do, but I think we're going to call it a day or the end of a video for this one. So, you know, stay tuned for the next one. Bye.